Hey guys, my name is Nolf, and in this video I will tell you all about my plans for the Lost Ark launch. I will keep things pretty linear, so those of you who have never gone to the endgame before can maybe look at this for an idea on how to approach the actual endgame. This video will mostly be me talking, with some visual representation here and there of topics that I'm currently talking about, and some PvP gameplay running in the background. Before we get started, I just quickly want to tell you guys that I am very grateful for all the feedback on my previous video, The Beginner's Guide for Lost Ark. That video brought a lot of new subscribers to the channel already, and it's still not stopping, which is genuinely mind-blowing to me. I am very happy to see so many of you interested in the game and in this sort of content. Based on the poll I ran on Tuesday, most of you guys are actually pretty new to the game, so I will try to keep things pretty simple in the content I'm releasing in the near future, at least until everyone can get their hands on the game, but I will also give a thorough explanation when it comes to topics that require me to do so. I also want to say that I will be doing some pretty hardcore sessions of playing for 12 plus hours because I am very excited for the release, and that's just how I play video games in general. I always go for the most efficient stuff, that's just what I enjoy, but you guys don't have to do the same. If it takes you longer to complete stuff, if you can't do your Chaos Dungeons day one, or even if you can't do your Abyssal Dungeons before the first weekly reset, you are not missing out on much, really. What matters at the end of the day is that you enjoy your time playing the game. I thought I'd mention this because some people, including me, sometimes seem to get lost in trying to do everything perfectly. For the first few months of Lost Ark, we will only have Tier 1 and later on Tier 2 content available. The amount of gold you get from raiding in Tier 1 and Tier 2 is almost nothing in comparison to what you will get for raiding in Tier 3. So I would suggest you try and spend the first few months to learn the game, and you don't sweat too much over doing everything efficiently. There is no right or wrong way to play a game, but if there was a right way, it would be a way that allows you to do whatever you like doing. Just enjoy the ride and try to appreciate this amazing game. As always, I'm separating the video into segments, so check the timeline or the description to see what topics you might be interested in. Also, if you find this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more Lost Ark content. For my first character, I'm honestly just gonna pick something I feel like playing at the moment and maybe haven't played before, or if I feel extra tryhard at the moment, I might start with a gunslinger. If you're not sure what you want to main yet, and you plan on playing more characters, then you can just level a class that you want to play as an alt in the future for your first character. You don't have to level your main first. And switching mains before Tier 3 is pretty easy if the class you want to main is not coming on the release of the game. The reason I will do Gunslinger if I feel like sweating is that Gunslinger is a class that can go through the leveling phase pretty quickly thanks to her mobility, and I also might main Gunslinger until some other class gets released that I'm interested in maining. For example, Destroyer. I also might play Striker for my first character, because I find him very fun to play, but I also really want to play Paladin and Artillerist and Sorceress. Man, this game has so many cool classes. I will be leveling the way I suggested in my last video, focusing on main story, only doing a few red quests, all chain and purple quests, skipping all side quests until R13, and doing all the side quests in R13. By the way, some of the side quests in there even give some gold towards the end of the story of the continent. And then I'll hit 50 in Northern. There is a slight, very slim, tiny chance that we might get the updated leveling process on release, but I think I'm sipping a substantial amount of copium to even be considering this. With the updated leveling, you no longer need to do any side quests, you will get 50 by doing only the main story. If this is the case, you will still want to do the chain quests and purple quests since they unlock account-wide stuff. The leveling I will be doing in one session, and I expect it to take about 12 hours, which I might stream on my Twitch channel, but it depends on the time of the day the servers go online. If it's the same as it was when New World got released and the servers go online in the morning for all time zones, then there's a very good chance I will be streaming the leveling. As soon as I can, I will be doing my first 2 Chaos Dungeons for the item level 302 gear that will make the rest of the Northern story very easy to handle. I will also unlock the Guardian raids and the daily and weekly tasks, and of course do my daily quests and the daily 2 Guardian raids. These and some other content as well require you to talk to an NPC who gives you a guide quest, which is basically just going through some dialogue before you can do the actual content. If you can't find the NPC, try looking at the guides tab in your quests interface by pressing J. If you are unsure what daily quests you should be picking, always pick the one that gives you leapstones or upgrading shards as rewards, unless you want to work on certain daily reputations or something else that's very specific. We will talk a bit more about reputation towards the end of the video. Of Of course, I will also make a guild and donate silver every single day, as well as spend all of my daily report actions. If the reset is going to be on Wednesday, then I think the only realistically doable weekly would be the PvP weekly, which you would have to do before the end of day 1. To be able to do PvP, you only need to be level 26, I believe, but for the weekly, you need to be level 50, of course. So technically speaking, if you are 50 before the end of day 1, you should be able to do the PvP weekly quest for some leapstones. Also, queue times shouldn't be a problem either. I will attempt to do this as well. All of this I hope to accomplish by the end of day 1. As I said earlier, don't worry if you don't progress at the same pace as I or others do. Even if just leveling takes you a week or even more, you will eventually catch up to everyone else because all of us who are rushing to the endgame will get kept by the currently available content. The reason we are rushing is so we can do all the current and upcoming content as soon as possible, and also so we can start working on long-term goals early. Of course, whenever I can, I will be upgrading my gear so I can do the highest level chaos dungeons and guardian raids available to me. I will start day 2 by taking my weekly quest, since day 2 is reset day if the reset is on Wednesday in our region as well, and also by doing my 3 daily quests, 2 Chaos Dungeons and 2 Guardian Raids. From now on, basically every day you want to start by doing these activities on all of your level 50 plus characters. At this point you can go ahead and do Shulshire, which is the next continent in the story. However, I am a goddamn maniac, so I will instead level a second character to 50 and do pretty much the exact same thing that I did on my first character. The only difference is I will be doing different daily quests, because the upgrading mats you get from daily quests are character bound, and you also cannot get reputation for repeating the same daily quest on different characters. Again, I will talk a bit more about reputation towards the end of the video. Leveling a second character will take a little less time, since you are no longer forced to watch certain cutscenes. For the time being, all the tradable mats I get from my daily activities I will be sending over to my gunslinger, so I can get her to Rohendol as soon as possible and unlock the Rohendol Abyssal dungeons. That would be item level 460. In the meantime, preferably on day 3, I will level a third character to 50 and do Northburn on them, so they can start doing the daily stuff as well. If I do stream on day 1, I will most likely stream day 2 and day 3 as well. Make sure to come and say hi if you can. Now you could consider this amount of leveling absolute insanity, and you would be absolutely right. This is just how I do things. It is definitely unnecessary to have 3 characters at 50 by the end of day 3, and most people would just be burnt out by then. But I think, thanks to the honeymoon phase, I should be alright. Right? At the end of the day, I plan on playing at least 10 characters in the long run, probably even more, and the main reason for that is not just so they can improve my economy, but so I'm able to play a good variety of classes, because Lost Ark has so many fun classes to offer. I think it's needless to say how much I love this game, and it makes me very happy to see so many other people show so much love for it as well. For at least a few days I will not level any more characters, so I can start focusing on other stuff, because there's a lot of shit you need to be doing. Like, a lot. My main focus is going to be on acquiring as many skill point potions as I can. I don't have an exact plan for how I'm going to go about this just yet. I will work it out as we get closer to the actual release. Like in my last video, I recommend checking papunica.com for a list of skill point potions and guides on how they can be obtained. You get a strong skill point potion when you obtain 20 island hearts that you get from completing certain island quests, report levels of certain island NPCs, from reaching certain levels of reputation on certain daily quests, and from some other sources. The Papunica site also has a guide for every single one of these island hearts. Papunica is the name of a continent in Lost Ark, at least that's what it used to be called. In the official translation, its name is Punica, I believe. It's the continent you go to for starting out in Tier 3. Some island hearts are pretty easy to obtain, but some of the first 20 you get will have to be from among the ones that take a bit longer to obtain, so getting started on them early will be beneficial. I haven't worked out exactly what NPCs I want to spend all my report actions on, but 2 that are very good to focus on would be Sasha and Beatrice for their giant heart rewards respectively. Giant hearts are another collectible type, and they give some very good rewards like skill point potions, as well as a decent rune for classes that rely on their identity gauge. It's a pretty good rune to get for for example, Sorceress. Other than Sasha and Beatrice, I will probably focus on NPCs that give gold and also work on the ones you need to befriend for adventure book completion. Only after I have my third character leveled will I start doing Voyage group missions for pirate coins and their respective region coins. You want to get tons of pirate coins going on your account, because with pirate coins you can buy upgrade mats in the ports of continents. This shop resets every week. There's also a bunch of other stuff that costs pirate coins, so you can never really have enough of them. But it's up to you how many of these missions you want to do. These missions happen at the same time every day, and you can see them beforehand in your calendar on the left side of the screen. Every day I log in, the first thing I will do is look at my calendar and take a look at what Adventure Island, World Boss, Chaos Gates and other stuff is happening and determine if I want to do them or not. Because if I want to attend, I will need to make my way there in time. I will also log into one of my alts first, do my daily activities and send over all the mats I can to my main, and repeat the process on all the other alts. Then I'm switching over to my main and doing all the upgrading on my gear that I can before I repeat the dailies, since I might be able to do higher level content if I upgrade first. And after that I am pretty much free to do whatever I want, like overall completion, live skills, island quests, timed events and all that juicy stuff. My live skills I will be doing about every other day or so. If there's nothing really important to do, I will mostly focus on doing island quests, because they give upgrade mats and engraving books as a reward, and some of them also unlock daily quests. The rewards you get from these quests are one time only. You can only receive them on one character, and I will do them on my main. The reason you want to unlock different daily quests is that they all have their own reputation. You can get reputation for a daily quest by completing the daily on any character, but only once per day, per account. You can complete it on more characters for the rewards, but your reputation will only be increased once a day. There are a few island hearts and other good stuff locked behind certain daily reputation rewards, and that's why you want to be unlocking them all. On papunica.com you can see what island's daily quests reputation gives island hearts as a reward. There are a few shops that reset weekly and require certain currencies in exchange for upgrade mats, and I will make sure to exhaust these shops every week. These shops are namely Guild Currency Exchange, PvP Token Exchange, Pirate Coin Exchange, and the Infinite Chaos shop. Infinite Chaos is a reference to completing Chaos dungeons even after your daily 2 runs. By doing so you get some special mats that can be exchanged at the Chaos NPC for a few goodies, including upgrade mats and potentially engraving books of your choice, but that is a one-time only purchase if they will include it, but I cannot guarantee that it will be in the shop. All of these shops can only be exhausted once a week and only on one character. And some of these mats are character bound, but not all of them. You might not want to spend all your pirate coins, and the reason for that is you want to save some to buy island hearts and other stuff. From the Voyage missions you don't get too much pirate coins at the beginning, so you need to be a bit more considerate about spending them. It might be a good idea to stay away from this shop until you have most collectibles that cost pirate coins, or until you have stocked up a good amount of pirate coins. Once my main can consistently do Rohandel Abyssal dungeons, I will start working on getting my alls to the same point one by one. By the end of tier 1 I would like to have done all the content available, and preferably have all my characters ready for tier 2. There's also some other very specific stuff, like looking for traveling merchants for certain cards, like you need 16 Celia cards in total for your crit chance card set, and you can buy that card from traveling merchants in East Lutera. There are some things like this, but even I'm not so experienced in the game to list all of them, and it takes me a lot of time to do research, and I'm not going to say anything in a video that I'm not 100% certain of, unless I of course say otherwise. I will be talking more about this probably in future videos and live streams. Also, trading is by no means the only source of gold. I feel like I might have gave that impression with this video if you haven't seen my beginner's guide. You can get gold by exchanging your UNAs tokens you get from completing your daily and weekly quests, and you can also make a very good amount of gold by selling high-level ability stones and jewelry with good stats and engravings. That of course requires some extent of game knowledge, which you can only really obtain by playing the game and maybe doing some research on what classes use what engravings. And that's pretty much it about everything important. If you think I missed something important or I said something incorrect, feel free to correct me in the comments, and I will include everything important in the pinned comment. I think tier 1 is a great introduction to what this game has to offer. You get to play around with engravings and builds, you learn the basic mechanics of the game, and you also get to do PvP if you're into that. I also happen to enjoy PvP, but more on the casual side, though I might try myself in ranked at some point. I am beyond excited for the release, and I can hardly contain my excitement even while making these videos. Until the release happens, I will keep making at least one weekly video, and I might also upload some fun PvP videos or just myself talking about Lost Ark related things and updates. After the release, I plan on making a series which will basically be a weekly recap of what I've done on my account throughout the week. I think it would be a pretty cool series, and those who can't catch my streams can catch up on my progression. Tell me what you guys think about it, and if you like it, I will make it happen. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, it always means the world to me, and I also really appreciate all the feedback I get. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.